Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Fire Emblem Warriors. Fire Emblem Warriors is a hack-and-slash action RPG video game developed by Omega Force and Team Ninja and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch and new Nintendo 3DS, which released in 2017. The game is a collaboration between Koei Tecmo's Dynasty Warriors franchise and Intelligent Systems Fire Emblem series. Overview. Fire Emblem Warriors is hack-and-slash action video game in which players take the role of multiple characters including original characters Rowan and Liana and characters from several Fire Emblem games including Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates. The player fights through hordes of enemies, accomplishing specific goals to beat maps. In addition to hack-and-slash combat in open areas similar to the Dynasty Warriors series, gameplay includes the ability to give tactical commands to units in the spirit of the Fire Emblem series. The weapons triangle axes beat lances, lances beat swords and swords beat axes from Fire Emblem games appears, resulting in players having to make careful decisions on what units attack which enemies. In addition to axes, lances and swords, 3 neutral weapon types appear: bows, tomes, and dragon stones. When characters assist, heal, or fight alongside each other in battle, their bond strengthens. Like in Fire Emblem games, if 2 characters' bond increases enough, a support conversation will be unlocked. The game will also utilize all existing and future Fire Emblem amiibo figurines, which give weapons related to the character represented by the amiibo that is used. Characters. The game's primary protagonists are the royal twin siblings of the Kingdom of Italis, Rowan and Liana. They are accompanied by their friend and mentor Darius, Prince of the allied nation of Griston. Another character from Italis is Yelena, Rowan and Liana's mother and the Queen. During their journey, the twins encounter several heroes from previous entries in the Fire Emblem series, including the kingdom's legendary heroes, Chrome, Prince of the Halidom of Elise, Ryoma and Zunder, Crown Princes of the rival nations of Hoshido, and Nohr, Corrin, Ryoma's step-sibling who was abducted and raised by Nohr, and Marth, Prince of Altea. The group is antagonized by Valadar, head of the grimly ill cult, Iago, a ruthless and scheming sorcerer of Nohr, Garnef, a mage who sold his soul for power, Oscar, Darius' father, and Velezek, a demonic dragon who seeks to conquer the multiverse. DLC. Unplayable carrot. From Fire Emblem Fates. The developers initially planned to include Azura in the base game instead of DLC, but she was cut from the initial roster due to the overabundance of Fate's characters. Plot. During a routine sparring match between Rowan, Liana and Darius, monsters attack Italis. The 3 are separated from Yelena during the attack, who gives them the Fire Emblem before being captured. The group learns King Oscar of Griston is seeking to revive the evil dragon Velezek, and that they must travel across dimensions to power up the Fire Emblem in order to stop them. Rowan and Liana travel across the worlds rallying support from the nations of Elise, Hoshido, Nohr, and Altea. However, during an attack on a Griston fortress, Velezek successfully possesses Darius, who steals the Fire Emblem. Rowan and Liana pursue him to Griston, where they discover Yelena has been captured and Oscar intends to sacrifice her to fully revive Velezek. Rowan and Liana successfully rescue Yelena, so Darius sacrifices Oscar to complete the ritual and revive Velezek. Now freed from the possession, Darius returns the Fire Emblem to the group before falling to his death. Rowan and Lyanna then battle Velezark's forces and finally slay him. Development and release. Fire Emblem Warriors is being developed by the same team as Hyrule Warriors, a collaboration between the Dynasty Warriors series and The Legend of Zelda. The game was co-developed by Koei Tecmo Studios, Omega Force and Team Ninja, and Fire Emblem developers Intelligent Systems. Koei Tecmo first proposed the project to Nintendo, who were more than willing to collaborate, making the game a title for their in-development Nintendo Switch home console. The idea of the game came during the development of Hyrule Warriors Legends, as the touchscreen controls bore similarities to those of the Fire Emblem series. The game was announced in January 2017 as part of a Nintendo Direct broadcast dedicated to the Fire Emblem series, although it had already been in development for around 2 years before this time. It was released in Japan on September 28, 2017, and released in North America, Europe and Australia on October 20, 2017. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Would you like to know more?